Welcome to Mindfully Integrative Podcast with your host, Dr. Damaris G. Mindfully Integrative is a podcast discussing ways toward mindfully incorporating integrative health into our lives. This podcast will have informative resources, fun topics, interviews, and discussions relatable for today with a true mindful perspective in a mind-body, holistic life approach.
Hi, how are you? This is the Mindfully Integrative Show, and this is Damaris Maria Grossman. And thank you again for joining in. Today, we have an amazing mindful chat with Dr. E. She has the new method. She's a nurse practitioner, a business owner, medical entrepreneur, and she's done so many things. She's also written a book on how, she's changed her perspective in the healthcare field from conventional, I call it integrative, I guess functional, wherever you'd like to put that. But I can't wait for you guys to meet her and chat with her. So thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I've been following for a while, and I was so excited to kind of, connect via, social media and all of that. So I kind of first say, what's a little fun fact people don't know about you?
Oh my God, I wasn't ready.
Oh, come on, it's
a fun fact that people don't know about me. I'm scared of bugs.
Okay, all right. Anything
I don't know if that's fun, but no, all bugs. All bugs. Like, I look really strong and scary in the world, but you put a bug in the room and I'm
you might not like
screaming
the
little
warm
kid.
weather then. You should always
I love the warm weather.
Oh. Okay, that's fine. So let's chat more about you, because I know that you love functional medicine like I love functional medicine, but you also, you've done so much in your career and in your work, and you have a doctorate in integrative health, which I find so fascinating, and then how much you've done for your patients and clients. So let's kind of dive into what got you to, where you're at now, like first degree wise.
Thank you. I want to make this little narrative to whoever's listening really relevant to you, the listener. And the way I'm going to do that is by telling you that my story probably mimics something that you or someone that you love has been through for you to even be listening to this podcast. So as I talk about myself, there's I think it'll resonate. So I started my first practice. I'm a nurse practitioner. I started my first practice. It's called EG Healthcare. EG Healthcare is just like any primary care you've been to. I mean, we're better, but in terms of visualizing what it is. So it's pediatric, adult, and I did all the things that I was taught in school, which means, the well visits and the screenings and preventive, whatever preventive means in conventional medicine. And so many of my patients would come in and say, I don't feel well. And I'd say, okay. And I would do all the labs and everything was fine. And I would say, you're fine. Everything's fine. And I would send them home. And many of you who are listening to this podcast might have experienced that. And so what I want you to get from this part of the story is that your provider is not mean or uncaring. What we learned in school is to find a sickness and treat it. And if you're not sick, we cannot work with you if you're just not well. So there's just no room for unwellness.
Nice way of putting it.
Yeah. So then at this, around the same time, my wife has an autoimmune issue. There's two autoimmune issues. One is PMLE and the other one is psoriasis. And we were on our own journey to try to figure it out. And in that journey, and this is kind of pre what internet looks like now, because I'm 51. So this is a while ago. And so someone told us about functional medicine. So it's not like we could Google it and see what it is. So
but I mean, no one really gave you, like, you were given probably a one thing, like the algorithm, I call it the typical algorithm of whatever your psoriasis was or whatever. If I'm
yes.
Like, they gave you this, and then that's what we're taught, right? That's okay. This is our
So the algorithm for psoriasis, is here's the medication, which really didn't work. P.S. Enjoy the side effects.
Of course.
And the algorithm for PMLE, it's polymorphous light eruption, which basically means allergy to the sun. So the algorithm there is stay out of the sun.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Sure. Don't enjoy the light.
Yeah, exactly. So someone told us about this functional medicine guy, and we were like, fine, we'll go, but it's not going to work because it's like quackery.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. And I need to paint a picture that at the time, I'm painting this picture for a reason. We consider ourselves healthy people. We ate well, we were thin, and I'm not saying that for body shaming issues, just to paint a picture. We were not on any medications. We were athletic. We ate well. We didn't eat fast food. So there was no reason for us to consider that we were the cause of this. As humans, and then as medical providers, no one ever suggested that there was things that this could be, like, there's a root cause to it, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So
there's never like a root cause, or like, what do you
there's
mean
no root
root
cause?
cause? Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So this provider had the audacity to tell us that our nutrition was off and that it was the cause of her autoimmune. And we were like, that's ridiculous. But we tried it anyway. We went on this crazy elimination diet, and everything resolved within 30 days. Gone. Psoriasis gone. PMLE, no more flare-ups.
Yeah.
Our life was given back to us. And I was like, holy bejesus, what is this quackery? I want more of it.
What exactly? Yeah. What is it? Yeah. Oh, I'm totally with you there.
What is this wizardry?
Yeah. What is going on?
What's going on? And so for many of you who, if you're on this podcast, if you've searched, you have definitely been on a journey where you're like, this is not working for me. I'm not getting the answers that I want. Some of you may haven't even been told, it's in your head, or there's nothing we could do. And so this kind of Pandora's box was opened for me, and I knew I wanted more. So, and I'm sure you know this, Damaris, that when you're in functional medicine, anyone who's there, because you're crazy to go into functional medicine because you have to go back to school after being in school.
100%. I had to do it more. So, I mean, as you talk to you, I know that you can not only, but you have a PhD also in integrative health. So you're not just functional medicine. So you did what I did in the sense of, we wanted more answers to so we practice. When people are listening to this, they have to understand we practiced in primary, and you still do, but we wanted to do it better, right? You want to do better, and you wanted better. So
this is what I'm saying, that in functional medicine, when you go back to school, everyone who's sitting in the classroom has themselves either experienced a health crisis, or someone in their family has experienced a health crisis. And conventional medicine was not enough. And by the way, in the Institute of Functional Medicine, everyone's a provider. You have to be an NP, PA, MD. So you are schooled in conventional medicine. Something had to happen to you or someone that you love, and you're like, there's got to be more. And then you come back. And IFM is really rigorous. It's intense.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're both talking about our woes, but it's all wonderful.
Talking about certification. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. So it's all good. So anyway, so then I started bringing it back to the practice slowly, dabbling in it here and there, figuring out how to do with it. And then eventually evolved into the new method. And the new method now is a company, and I work with patients all over the country.
Awesome.
In functional medicine, and people come to me from it's really been an honor to be in this position and to help people, empower people to realize that their symptoms are not in their head, and to get to the root cause of their I don't feel gooditis. And that's awesome. And then along the way, I also did the PhD because it just made sense for me to do a PhD in integrative medicine. There is no doctorate degree in functional medicine as far as I know. So that's why I did integrative. And, then I wrote a book also. And
just like that. Yeah, no big deal.
Just like that. No big deal.
So, I mean, the reason I kind of want to peel back a little bit of that is because you're making those educational decisions to change. You went and got a doctorate in integrative health. What did you study in that integrative health component? What was your dissertation on?
So the integrative health was really interesting. It had a lot of modalities that I actually don't use. But right. So it has
like things that I probably did before I did functional medicine. That's what I did.
Yeah. So it talks about acupuncture, and it talks also about aromatherapy, and it talks, of course, about nutrition, but they don't call it, like I would call it, more functional nutrition. They call it orthomolecular nutrition. So it had a lot to do with quantum physics and energy. So there was a lot of modalities that I don't necessarily use. But what it does, even right, so that some people go in there and they would really enjoy the acupuncture component. For me, what I really liked was the nutrition component. But what it does is it opens your eyes, whether you decide to take all or none of these modalities. Right, it opens your eyes that there's more. There's just more.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I have this passion podcast. Is one of these persons that I've interviewed. If you like one of these parts, that's what it's like. All right, take one piece and make your life a little bit better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. It's hard to do all of it. So do what
No,
works for
you
you.
can't. Oh, no. We totally can't do it all.
Exactly.
But we're trying to make as many positive changes for ourselves and for other people,
Yes. Yes.
So with this doctor, now that you have the new method, what kind of clients do you see on do you try to incorporate it now, or is it completely separate businesses, like your primary and because it's hard to incorporate it into primary? I know, because I've tried.
So it's completely separate. I tried to do it together. It's not possible.
It's hard to do it together.
Yeah. It's also, licensing wise, it's impossible. If I wanted to do, just part of primary, I'd have to stay in New York and New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
But because I really wanted to make this a national scale, I had to move it out of like the FNP licensure and make it more coaching, because I can coach in any state.
That's great. That's great. So people can reach you. That's awesome.
So people can reach me. And then, so the difference is that I can't order blood work and I can't order medication for you if you're living in Texas, but I can make a suggestion, which you can then discuss with your PCP. But quite honestly, I'm trying to, I don't want you on medications if possible. So it's not a limiting factor, right?
Right. It isn't. It's true.
So you asked me the type of patient that comes to me. I would say that the type of patient is divided into two types. The first is the person that just doesn't feel well.
Okay.
And they've been to several doctors and they're told some version of it's in your head. And those versions are, well, what do you expect? You're a mom, you're busy. What do you expect? You're postmenopausal. Of course, you're tired. Maybe you're just depressed. Here's some anxiety. Maybe it's just your hormones. These are all various ways of saying it's in your head. There's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
And even though I say it cynically, I really do believe these providers, there's no malice. Again, they run the test, they find nothing, right? Let's just say classically, my stomach hurts. Great. I did endoscopy, colonoscopy, everything is fine.
Here's your
it's not fine because I'm bloated all the time, right? So we have this group on the left of the people who, I don't feel good itis. Everyone is kind of insinuating it's in my head. What do I do? And then on the other group is the people who are already sick. They have autoimmune issues. They have some sort of chronic illness, hypertension, diabetes, aches and pains, rheumatological issues. And they are searching for a different approach. Awesome. Now, the difference between group 1 and group 2 is time, which means
how much time to teach them or how much time to be with them?
No, the difference is if you leave someone with symptoms long enough and don't do anything, they become the second group and they're sick.
They become chronic.
Right. So because the symptoms mean that you're cooking something.
Oh, it's like a flag. It's like a red flag. Right? Or I'd say it's a yellow flag. Maybe
it's a yellow flag. So if I leave these patients long enough, group A becomes group B. Right. And I tell my patients all the time, like, listen, this is happening. If you want to work with me, great. We can avoid you becoming group B. But if you do nothing, whether you work with me or someone else, you will become sick. Mm-hmm. It's just that right now, every time you go to the doctor, your labs don't show that you have a rheumatological condition. But let's see, you're achy all the time. You have brain fog. You have this, and this. It's just a matter of time. So that's the difference.
No, I mean, but both groups are so vitally important to understand. And I also, I was excited to get you on the show because it's nice to talk to other providers that get it, because the thing is, I would say the provider that you saw, whether they were good or bad, they don't know what they don't know, right? Like I didn't know what I didn't know until I went down the rabbit hole of figuring out my own stuff. And then I'm like, there's gotta be a better way. Or like for you, your wife, like finding another way that, you didn't know that there was another way. By the way,
that's why it's called the new method, because you always knew there was a better way.
It makes sense. See, for me, it's like about the mindfulness and the, my patients are a lot of stress relief and mindfulness, and the functional medicine was this extra part that I was like, oh, this is it. This is part of it. So I get it. I get what you said.
I'm glad you brought that up, the mindfulness. Like, let's bring it back to you and your listeners, which is when I talk to my patients, yes, I talk about nutrition. Yes, I talk about exercise, and I talk about sleep, but we always talk about stress as well.
I know. Because it's so huge part of that factor.
So huge. And what stress does, it's not just spiritual. It's not just emotional. It's not just what it does to you on a spiritual level. It literally, as you know, changes inflammatory pathways in your body.
Oh my God. So much.
Yeah.
So much.
So the stress that you're experiencing is literally making physical changes in your body. And so if you don't address it, you're only going to get so far with just nutrition. Nutrition is important, but stress is a really big component of it. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to live a life without stress. That's not possible. But it's going to be all about working with someone like you, Dr. Damaris, about how do I manage the stress? How much do I let it affect me? Because that's the only thing we have control over.
Yeah. And it's like these factors of what people have, like they don't even realize that whether it's the stress or these chronic illnesses that are coming to them, or these symptoms, that if you don't get down, we say root cause, but if you don't get down and start looking further and addressing it, it'll just go pile up and pile up.
Just and pile up and pile up. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So managing the stress is a big piece of it, and finding the right provider for each thing is really important as well.
And then for yourself. Yeah,
please,
sorry.
You go ahead.
No. I just want you go ahead.
I was going to say, there's also a very important space for your conventional providers. Like, it's not all or nothing, right? You're integrative. Right. You have your legs in both worlds. It's really important. Let me give your listeners an example, right? If you come in and you already have high blood pressure, you should be on a medication right now. And I would write a few. And then we will work together to change your lifestyle and help you come off the medication. Excellent. But it's not either or, right? And if you're already diabetic, you should be on medication. And then we can talk about tapering off. But in the meantime, we have to protect your organs. So it's really important to do both. And then for those of you who are like, yeah, but I'm not sick, why is conventional medicine failing me? It's not failing you. It's consistently showing you that you're not sick, which is really good news. Right? You go to the pap smear, everything's fine. The GI and the colonoscopy fine, and the endoscopy is fine. Like, yes, it's frustrating because you still don't know why you have your symptoms, but take it as good news and keep going to your yearlies or your every 6 months, whatever you have going on, because you want to make sure that you're not also dealing with a pathology as we also deal with these symptoms, right? So don't leave one for the other. Do them both, because I
think that's such a good point. Oh, good to say, because then you're going to be having to put out fires everywhere. A fire here. Because then it's like, if you wait for that signal or that lab to go up, then and not address these other parts, it's like, all right, the symptoms are the flag, that first part. But if we just keep ignoring it, and it's great to put that in perspective, because on the podcast, I've been trying to, be that middle person, but say, I am all for conventional medicine. I just want it to be open to this integrative thought process.
Well, I actually think functional medicine, this is what I say all the time, is Western medicine done right. Let me tell you what I mean by that.
Looking at it, I didn't.
When you look, for those of you who don't know, we do, as you pointed out, we use algorithms. So let's just go back to blood pressure. If you look at any algorithm for blood pressure, there is a list of medication, but before the list of medication, the very first line will be suggest lifestyle modification. But in your primary care practice, you skip that line and you go straight to the med.
You do.
But that's the first line of the algorithm, is suggest lifestyle modification. So we're pausing here in functional medicine and say, hey, can we really talk about what these lifestyle modifications are before we introduce the medications, right? So it's actually part of Western medicine. It's just time, insurance, patient volume. You have to just skip that part over and go straight for the med.
I mean, it does break my heart sometimes that I just wish it kind of would be able to mold together. But, maybe in our perfect world, we could have that.
Not possible.
It just doesn't seem like it's going to work like that.
No, it's not possible. It's not possible because, and if any of you want, I'm actually talking about this next Tuesday on my live, and then it will be on YouTube. It's not possible because the system, by nature of its coding, only codes for procedures and illnesses.
Yep. You had to be sick.
You have to. Like, did I do a procedure? Did I do an operation? Did I remove an abscess? Do you have a diagnosis code? If someone comes in for a well visit and I spend an hour with them, which I cannot do in primary care, there's no code for that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a wellness visit code, but if there's no code that will compensate for an hour's worth of time, And in that hour, I can have a code for hypertension, another patient code for diabetes, another patient that needed a suture, another patient, right? So the coding pays only for sickness.
Yeah.
So it is literally not designed to create health. It perpetuates illness because everyone needs to, this is how this is how the business it works.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, you got to the point where you started that business and you do very well with it because people still need primary care. They still need their visits.
Absolutely.
But then you started, this one-off. I mean, I know you have other businesses, but you started, the functional, this integrative approach because you knew you needed the new method. You knew you needed more for.
So I knew I needed
others.
more. And there's also two different kind of patients, right? Not everyone's willing to do the work.
Do the work. Oh, not everybody wants to do work. You're right. And that's another element to this.
Yeah.
Right.
And so for those who don't want to do the work and their eyes wide open and they prefer to be on meds, at least we're keeping them safe.
That's true.
Right. And so, and I tell my patients, even in primary care, I'm like, I need to just let you know that there is a better way. You can do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. No judgment. But I need to put my head on the pillow and let you know that the medications you're taking for diabetes will never cure your diabetes ever.
No, never.
Right?
Never.
You're just going to manage them, right? And if you're okay with that, and the cheesecake and the lifestyle is working for you, and I don't mean that in a judgy way. Some people are working 2 jobs. Some people,
right? Yeah, you have to look at where they are, meet them where
they are. Like it might not be, they're juggling 2 kids. They're a single mom, so they're eating pizza with the kids. Like if this is what's working for you right now, then let me at least keep you safe, keep your numbers in check.
Yeah. It's a great point of view because you're really looking at the whole picture, like, which is awesome. And it's become like your life's work, literally.
It is my life's work. It really is.
And talking to another individual that gets it, it's pretty awesome because it makes my life and conversations on this podcast easier because
it makes you feel normal.
Yeah, it does some days because you can hear some of the conversations I have with people and all right, why don't we try this? And then they're, but it's the hope is that if, when you're with all these patients is that you help them change a little bit, right? Even if it's they're
a little bit,
right, a little bit, whatever that is.
Absolutely. It's not all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If it was perfect, if it was easy to do it all right, everybody would be in perfect health. It's not all or nothing. It's a little bit at a time, to your comfort level, to whatever is available to you.
Mm-hmm. What's one of your favorite go-tos, either supplement or nutrition?
So nutritionally, the way I like to manage my patients is, and some people we have to create differently, but generally speaking, I like to initially do a very restrictive, at least 30 days, with the understanding that this is not a way of life. It's a way to kind of clear the weeds. So no legumes, no dairy, no grain, no starchy vegetables, limited fruit. And I also like intermittent fasting. So we do that to get a sense of, well, let's see how you feel in 30 days just doing that. If let's just say all your symptoms are improving, then great. I know what we're doing. We're just going to keep going until your symptoms reach your goal. And then we slowly we repair the gut, right? Remove, repair, reinoculate. And then we reintroduce, and then we slowly reintroduce. But then there'll be some people that maybe improve just so much and now have symptoms that are not resolving. So that is the appropriate time to then see, well, what symptoms are left after I cleared the nutritional kind of weeds.
Yeah.
And then is a good time to offer testing, hormone testing, Lyme testing, mold testing, depending on what is left. So creating that clear plane, nutritionally speaking, is really important. So you don't have too many variables. So that's my go-to.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I think when people are, reach out to you or see you online and, all the information that you have on, to, get a hold of you, people are wanting more answers and you're able to give them like the whole picture. And I think that's really awesome. How can they reach you, by the way? And, I know that you have the different businesses, but how can they reach you specifically in this integrative and functional approach?
Yeah. So it's called The New Method, and new is spelled with a K because you always knew there was a better way. And The New Method on literally every platform except for Twitter, because I talk too much. So, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. And then of course we also have our website, thenewmethod.com. Everywhere has a link in the bio for a consult. The way it works is you will first talk to my team. make sure that we're both a good fit for each other. And then if yes, you will be set up for a consult one-on-one with me. During our consult, I will hear your entire story and I will connect dots that maybe you've never connected before. And then after that, I will let you know what it looks like to work with me. And if you want to work with me, you can. But if you don't, the consult is still a great experience. There's zero pressure because I work from the universe. Whatever the universe guides me is where we end up being. So if there's any party that's interested, just talk to my team and find out if it's for you. So the new method everywhere.
Awesome. Oh, I really appreciate you being on the show and, and taking the time. And I know that your time is precious. So thanks again for
I appreciate it very
here.
much.
And then do you want to leave the audience with any side note or a little last thought?
Yeah, the most important part of achieving any of your goals is self-forgiveness, because you're going to mess up because you're human. And then you have to make a decision, which is this mess up? Now I'm going to just F it and not do my goal? Or am I going to be like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen, and kind of brush off your shoulder and get back on? And if you learn to forgive yourself for messing up, you are more likely to achieve the goal.
I should pause on that. That's a good one. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, thanks guys so much for joining in to the show, and make sure you find a mindful way each and every day.
I love it.
Thank you for listening to the Mindfully Integrative Show with Dr. Damaris Maria Grossman, family nurse practitioner. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not the substitute for professional medical advice, diagnose, or treat. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your healthcare routine. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you enjoyed our show, please support us by leaving a mindful review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Interested in being a guest or more information? Email us at info@mindfullyintegrative.com. For resources mentioned in the show, visit our website at www.mindfullyintegrative.com. You can also connect mindfully with Dr. Damaris on her social media links found on the site. May your strength and peace guide you to find a mindful way every day. Namaste.